green trees over there. Looked like there were about 8 guys surrounding him. They had people coming in out of the stands to trap him. He just said, oh, I better call a timeout right here. I don't think you teach that kind of poise, do you?
Well, and while he may or may not be a great basketball player, he's a great leader, and certain qualities like poise and being cool under fire can help you in a situation like this.
Well, what he did in football for Brunswick, it helps give confidence to the kids that play with him. They watched him play. They were teammates with him. You say, as long as Darian's out there, let's get him the ball. He's going to make something happen, or he's going to keep something from happening.
And on the other side of the floor, Jermaine Sheffield and some of these guys from Strongsville who played on the football team also have that poise. They went into the playoffs. They were beaten in the playoffs by St. Ignatius. That's the one team that they can't beat. But they've got a lot of company in that regard.
Like there's a whole lot of teams that can beat St. Ignatius. Jermaine Sheffield headed toward Eastern Michigan. He won't have to change any kind of green. He'll be playing for the green up in Ypsilanti come next fall. Whether it's football, probably will be football as a wide receiver.
Stolen away by Darrell Benson. He can tie it. He does with 25 seconds left in the game. It's 68 apiece. Nick Lapsevich up the floor for Brunswick.
Just don't foul. That's the call. Just don't foul.
He finds Elwood. Miskowitz for 3. It won't go. Rebound. Back up. No good. Elwood's got it with 5 seconds left. Timeout. Strongsville.
The big man asserts himself, Matt. Mike Elwood not scoring as he has in the last couple of games, but making himself big in the paint with the offensive rebound. Third opportunity that trip down the floor for Brunswick, and Mike Elwood has Strongsville in the huddle talking about what are we going to do? Missed opportunity. Elwood catches it in the air, puts it back up before he hits the ground.
The key, nobody on Elwood. Nobody blocked him out, and he was just waiting for it.
Nobody and nobody.
The crowd chanting, let's go blue. They lead 70 to 68, 5.2 seconds left. Strongsville with ample time to come down the floor and get a shot at a tie. Or, Bill Nito, I've heard the theory, when you're on the road, you play for the win in this situation.
I don't know about that so much at this level. I tell you, though, there are certain things that are clear. One of the things that is clear is that there's a size advantage for Strongsville. I'm not going to leave this to any kind of outside shot. If you've got a size advantage, you use it. And they've got the 3 big men starters out there on the floor, and Sheffield's got it down the side.
Here is Sheffield. Clock winding down. Shot at the buzzer. Won't go. Brunswick wins. The Blue Devils have upset mighty Strongsville, 70 to 68 your final score. It's Strongsville's first loss in the Pioneer Conference, and it gets Brunswick 1 game closer to a tie for first place. Coach Tom Thompson and the Strongsville Mustangs will go back and regroup. A very talented team, and I'm sure that we will hear a lot from them come tournament time.
Well, they got the one that they needed. Now, if everything holds to form, they're going to get a shot to do exactly what they did in football. And that's go in there and get a bite of the championship if things work their way down to the end.
Exactly. They've done, Brunswick, that being, they've taken care of the business they had to take care of. You got to beat the first place team when you get your shot. They did that tonight by 2 points. A great game, really. Back and forth pretty much the whole way. And then at the end, in the fourth quarter, Brunswick able to pull away with enough of a cushion. And then Mike Elwood with a big bucket there at the end, giving them the 2-point lead. Jermaine Sheffield had a shot at the buzzer along the baseline, but it does not go.
There's no sense looking at various statistics to try and explain why this one happened. Inside, Strongsville went in with an edge physically, and on the inside paint points, Strongsville 34 to 20 over Brunswick. Strongsville's size allowed them a margin of 16 to 6 on second chance points. What made the difference? Baskets at the right time and defensive lapses because Mike Elwood's able to put back the winner.
As we pointed out at the time, no one boxed him out, and it was an easy bucket for Elwood. He just waited for the rebound, right back up, and off the glass for the winner. 70-68 in favor of Brunswick. Bill, if there's a player of the game, you have to talk about Elliott Wood. His 20 points led all scores, and he hit some clutch ones too.
So how about we talk about Elliott Wood? What a terrific performance the senior point guard was able to provide. The thing with Elliott Wood that you like is he's absolutely fearless. There was a time when Brunswick was on a comeback. Elliott Wood took it into the paint. Elliott Wood was able to score with 4 guys on him, draw the foul, get to the line for a 3-point play. Elliott Wood did a heck of a job. There you get a good look at the senior.
And on the other side of the court, Matt Hodgson had a terrific game for Strongsville. He came up with some big clutch baskets for the Mustangs, 9 in the first half. He finished up with 17. So, you know, Hodgson does the job for Strongsville, but again, they come up 2 points short, and it was the big bucket by Mike Elwood who gets it done for Brunswick. And so they go on now with a 70-68 win. They're now 5-2 in the Pioneer Conference.
And now you've got yourselves a race for the championship in the regular season. Certainly will be interesting to see what goes down in that last game of the year if everything holds to form in the Pioneer Conference. But there are teams in this league that are capable of jumping up. Brecksville's on the rebound. North Royalton's capable of beating anybody at any time. So it's going to be a good race to the wire in the Pioneer.
It would be too ironic if it were to come down to that game. It would be just too much to handle in one season.
Yeah, well, that's what you'd like to see, because this is what rivalries are made out of. Brunswick and Strongsville. You'll be hearing about those two in a long, long time in the Pioneer.
A terrific rivalry and a terrific start to our high school basketball season here on WVIZ. Make sure you join us next week for another edition of Friday Night at the Hoop. Trinity against Magnificat, 2 of the top girls basketball programs in the area. That broadcast comes to you next Friday night at 11:30 p.m. Once again, our final score, Brunswick 70, Strongsville 68. What a name.
WVIZ's High School Basketball Game of the Week is made possible by Cavaliers Charities, a fund of the Robert R. McCormick Tribune Foundation, proud supporters of high school basketball in Northeast Ohio. And by the East Ohio Gas Company, who reminds you that every Comfort Contractor Network member meets the East Ohio Gas Customer Assurance qualifications. The heating professionals who make up the Comfort Contractor Network will keep your heating system running safely, efficiently, and economically.
Please stay tuned. Our regularly scheduled program will now be joined already in progress.